And it says that I'm live. I'm excited. I got Instagram tapping in with me for a couple minutes. This is my name is Kim Joyce, and this is my first podcast that I'm doing on YouTube. As I was conversing to a couple fans on Instagram, I've been wanting to go live and do a podcast for such a long time. I'm a bit of an introvert, so I think a lot. I observe. This is gonna be live. I love that it's gonna be live because y'all gonna see. Well, let me say this first. Parental discretion advised because I'm gonna be cussing. I don't have a PR. God is working on me. God ain't done me yet. And y'all that just tapped in, hey, I'm going live on YouTube. I'm gonna be live for maybe just a couple more minutes. But yeah, this is my first one. So parental advisory is highly encouraged because I'm gonna be cussing, but out of love, you know. Um, but yeah, I've been wanting to do this for a minute. A bit of an introvert, so I observe things, dig that it's gonna be live because I'm gonna be fucking up, I'm be messing up, being very honest, being very real, kind of going off the top because I feel like I'm better like that. A lot of things I do, I record, I try and make sure it's perfect, but what I realize is all that perfection, man, it's for the trash. Like it's good sometimes, but sometimes it's like you just want to be in the moment and the vibe. And I feel like that's what that lets people in a little bit more to you and your personality. So we going live. It allows you guys to ask me questions on, my YouTube. It allows me to kind of interact one-on-one with y'all. So welcome. So today's topic, the very first one I wanted to do, this is actually not the first one I wanted to do, but this subject, while I was planning for doing the first one, man, it's just everything in the universe was telling me to do this topic. So this is age limit in hip hop. Like how old is too old to be in hip hop? Okay. And there's a couple of reasons why I'm doing this. I'm about to tune out live on Instagram. So hopefully they check me and they come out this way. Yes, sir. But yep. How old is too old in hip hop? All right. I wanted to start with this one is because I was searching the internet and I found a video of Webbie's son. Shout out Webbie, INDE. Hold on, shit. INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that mean, man? That was nerve wracking. I'm horrible at spelling. I got out the only spelling bee I was in. I got out the first round. I was so excited when I found out that was the practice round, and then I got out the real true first round. So that just shows you how my spelling is. But thank God for Webbie for making that to a beat. But I came across an interview of Webbie's son, Tre Savage, I believe is his name, and he was getting interviewed. And I apologize, I gotta put the interview below. I'm gonna put the links down below, but he was being interviewed. And I just heard dude say something like, he hates old rappers. And I'm gonna be paraphrasing a lot of this, but he said something to the extent of he hate 30-year-old rappers. You might as well hang it up after 10 years if you don't get improvement in 10 years. And after 10 years, come on. So Webby kind of cut him off a bit, which thank God he cut him off. But I understand the young man, is expressing his feelings. And that got me thinking a bit of Dre, because Dre just had an interview not too long ago where he was saying, like, people think I'm hanging on to raps. It's not that I'm hanging on to raps. It's just I feel inauthentic. And it really ain't nothing to talk about. He said, what are you going to talk about? A colonoscopy or his eyesight going bad? And it's funny because as I was listening to him say this, I'm like, yeah, talk about the colonoscopy. Talk about your eyesight going bad. I want to hear something. I want to hear something new. Like I get excited on something that like I can expect so many lyrics. I kind of know what songs are going to be about. So I would love for you to surprise me. Like give me some bars that's going to make me be like, damn, okay. Like that's what I'm looking for. And I did another video not too long just about the Dre situation because I felt kind of let down as a fan. Like I feel like in the hop culture, urban culture, we limit ourselves so much. We put a box on ourselves so much. I see a lot of other genres and they are touring into their 70s. I feel like they still have fans that are fans, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I feel like a couple decades ago, that used to be the case as well. Like, you would still see people touring for a long time, but I feel like hip hop, I don't know who made the rules on hip hop, but people feel like it has to stop at a certain age when in actuality, like a lot of the rappers that we have now, the a lot of OGs, a lot of people that still got a lot of fans. I mean, they are in their 30s and 40s, and Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, shit, Drake getting up there. A lot of these people are a little bit older, but it's still a mindset that you have to be a young cat to get into the game. And I think that as life has been evolving, you've seen music evolve from, 8 tracks. That what it was called, 8 tracks, the tapes, CDs, being signed to a record label, and now people are doing it independently. Like, think about it. Like, who? I think the reason why people think that you have to be young is because record label execs were looking to sign and pimp out young artists, and now we done took that narrative and just ran with it. So we're putting a box on ourselves, and it's so detrimental for our culture. I don't really think a lot of people is looking at it from that standpoint, but I know a lot of people are tired of hearing kind of the same songs and feeling like they're not being fulfilled. Um, let me go here because I kind of made it. Shout out how my mind works because I had to make an outline. But I think what Drake and Tre Savage was trying to say, or maybe it's just how we talk about music and the things that we're talking about. Like, I don't think that you have to be a certain age to do music, but as you mature, your content definitely should mature. I think we need to be more creative about the things that we're talking about. And as well, we need to be more relatable, to a lot of the music that we're putting out as artists. If you are like rapping past 10 years, you shouldn't be 10 years in the game, and still talk about the same things that you was talking about 10 years ago. That means you as a person aren't evolving, and I'm gonna circle back around to it, but your fan base is consistently evolving. Somebody that started listening to music 10 years ago, they might have been in the club. Now they might have kids, got a job, they worried about different things. So you just want to be more relatable on the subject matters that you're talking about. I ran across this YouTube video. It was from a dude. His name is Felix. Give me a second. Let me look him up. Felix. And this was one of many. I'm just going off of him because he had like a lot of pretty good content. Well, he was hitting a lot of points that I wanted to talk about. Let me go to my history. Felix Skura. I'll link his video below so you guys can check him out. Not really sure the rest of the content he has, but I came across his video and he was saying I may just be getting older. What's the name of the video? I may just be getting older, but it was talking about Drake's album. Oh wait. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot of drawback from Drake's album because a lot of people feel like he's not necessarily growing. This isn't necessarily my opinion. I listened to some of the album, but I'm just going off of some of the reviews that I've seen people talking about. And this is for all the dogs. Shout out Drake, man. What up, though? But Felix was saying he's kind of tired of listening to music. I'm paraphrasing again. Drake, he said, a lot of rappers, if older rappers, it feels like they're an uncle that wasn't even invited to a party but showed up to the party where everybody else is 20 years old. And he was saying like it's almost like it's a brag culture. Hip hop has been just people bragging. bragging about spending money and what they got and the lifestyle that they have. And I don't know if y'all notice, like music, I take my job serious as an artist because I'm casting spells. Like you guys, if you're singing my lyrics, if you're reciting my lyrics, that's affirmations. Like you're repeating something over and over again. What you say, what you do, who you hang around, the content that you consume, like that creates who you are. You know what I'm saying? So if you consistently kind of rep that lifestyle, I get it's one thing you speak some things into existence, but a lot of music now, popular music, is bragging and it's spending unnecessarily, and everybody want to be a baller, have that baller mindset. I don't like to spend unnecessarily because when you think about it and you look at how music has been over the past whatever decades, like the wealth gap is getting bigger and bigger. All this information, all this opportunity out here, but consumerism is damn near probably at its highest. Like people are just spending money that they don't have. It's not necessarily invested the right way, and like people are following what musicians are saying. We have a huge drug culture. People always been in drugs, but it's just way more out and acceptable now. You know what I mean? And that's become a lot more of the norm out in the open. Like people was druggies a little bit more quiet. Now they just druggy everywhere. Um, but yeah, fans they definitely mimic the balling lifestyle and don't have financial literacy and really, the they don't understand what that means. Like niggas want to buy a foreign. Forgive me, I say the word niggas. Hey, yeah, that's what I say. But niggas, they buy foreign cars, but it's more than a foreign. You know, that's a foreign oil change. Those are foreign tires and foreign parts that has to be imported or exported. So everything's more expensive, not just that car and that. So it's like it's very surface level, not understanding a financial literacy that you need to have to be a real baller, and the type of money that you got to have saved and residual income coming in and money coming in to really be a baller. They don't really talk about that. Um, Dating. He was talking about dating. This is also in Felix, and I've seen this in a lot of videos. He's talking about how, Drake talks about, and this is in his music, he could be just, doing this as a character because he did do acting and music. It doesn't always have to be true to life, but in the music, I guess he's talking more so about dating young women in their 20s, him being a little bit older. It's not necessarily a problem, but it's just when you continue to throw money at that's the culture and the rap music is to throw money at young women, throw a lifestyle at young women. And honestly, like you got to think about it. It's not a lot of relationships. People don't really value relationships nowadays. Got a lot of failed relationships, a lot of people who um it's like mm, I don't know. I feel like they just don't appreciate love. You got a lot of failed marriages or people who really don't work on marriages. There's a lot of surface level love, and again, that's a lot of the music that we listen to. Um, I also think that breeds like on men and women's side, it brings immature people. Like if you just keep talking about it's my bedtime timer, but you keep talking about like Drake, talking about younger women, and again, like he just I guess doing his job or whatever like that, um, trying to sell records and what's seemed popular, but that breeds a lot of pervs, like a lot of older men being in the club, like you said, the uncles at a club that you weren't invited to. It makes a lot of older men look for younger women and target younger women. And I think that it also keeps a lot of younger women expecting a certain lifestyle and expecting to be showered by gifts and money by dudes. Women that ain't shit, women that don't know how to nurture and don't know how to, you know, take care of a family. Like, it's just a real shallow lifestyle. And it's crazy because it's hard to hear anything else on the radio. Like I remember listening to the radio, like I literally felt like I heard the same 4 songs all day. Like it just, I think they was even playing the same song twice in an hour. It's like that's the only songs that I heard, and it's like you're not giving me anything else. And if I do have to change the channel, you only showing me something from the '90s, like Anita Baker and Luther Vandross. It's like it's nothing in between. Like we're missing something for a mature hip crowd that's trying to get out there and make money and find value in life and friendships and relationships, and we don't have music to um as a blueprint to help us with that, because we're listening to music a lot more than we're going to church. We don't have a lot of grandmas, we don't have a lot of people that's giving us like any role models or any sort of blueprint on how to go about life. People is, like you said, a lot of people said that they learn their life from the streets because wasn't nobody there. Well, a lot of people is learning life through music, and there really ain't a lot of music out there that's fulfilling, that's really helping you grow, helping us grow as a culture. um Let me see here. And then lastly, Felix, like I'm quoting him, but he definitely had like some points in there. He said that he just feels like it's empty. Hip hop and the hood culture is empty. But again, like I said, it really ain't too much else on the radio. And I think our mindset as people now, even if we look back at what Andre said, I don't have anything to talk about. Like all the life you don't live, you ain't got nothing else to talk about. I'm really upset. I think I need somebody call him because I need to have a talk. I think enough people probably didn't call him and talk to him, but it's wild. And that's what Webbie's son Tre Savage is saying. And that's what people are thinking. Like that's the mindset of us right now. There's so much more to talk about. I feel like there is a huge opportunity for music to be made, for a lot more fans, a lot of money to be made if we can target this audience that don't have anything that's fulfilling them. You know what I mean? Like it just needs to be more depth and maturity in hip hop. And you gotta think about it as well. Like it can't be an age limit on hip hop, because at this point in life, we're not talking about like how my mom's and then was like, you're gonna be upset because you got tattoos and you're gonna, want to change in the future. No, we are a culture that got BBLs, we got motherfucking tattoos. We gonna be hip hop. We're gonna be this culture to the day we die. So it can't be an age limit on this, because we are gonna be living this culture for decades. But you got all these people living this culture that's only listening to 20-year-olds, or that's the acceptance mindset. Because again, we're not really listening to blues music, jazz music, which I think we need to even put more of that out there. Black country, black, or they ain't gotta be black, you know what I'm saying? But the urban, the vibe, the sauce. There's just not a lot of diversity out there. But if we're gonna listen to hip hop, and hip hop is more than just music, it's a culture, it's a way of life. And like I said, we're gonna be this for our whole life. We can't have 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds only. If I want that vibe, I shouldn't have to go back and just listen to the Tupac back from the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Or Run DMC, just because I'm getting older. So I guess those is the only people that they expect, mature adults to listen to. Ain't no way a 50-year-old, 48-year-old that's still wearing, I don't know, Tim's. Like you can still dress up on the weekends or whatnot, but you can definitely still dress hip and how you feel. Like this is the age of having an open mind, like not putting any boundaries. We have a lot of different alternative lifestyles, alternative eating habits, like just so much different alternative acceptance. So yes, you can have 50-year-olds that's listening to hip hop, but damn, you don't want them to be listening to a 20-year-old who hasn't even, it's just really in heat, don't know too much. And I don't want to put that sort of, like I said in my last video, you don't want to put that sort of pressure on young cats. Let them live, man, but give them something to look up to, because a 20-year-old rapper, 20 whatever year old rapper doesn't have anything to look up to. They don't even think that there's anything else probably for them to talk about. They trying to live their heyday and live it all right now because they think that that's all they got. But we don't have a ton of different role models at a 30-year-old age, at a 40-year-old age, to be like, damn, I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna keep getting this money, and I'm gonna keep feeding these people. Like McDonald's and them, they make money because they open 24 hours. White Castle, that's what I want to say. White Castle, is open because it's 24 hours. You know, they not just open like a breakfast spot. You know, don't make hip hop just a breakfast spot, you know, from open from 6 a.m. to down, you know, noon. And then it's 5, 6 o'clock at night, and I gotta just eat breakfast because that's the only thing that y'all serving. No, I want 24 hour. Give me the breakfast sandwich at this time, and then at lunchtime, you know, whatever. Give me the impossible burger and fries, or maybe at 1 a.m. in the morning, give me a sack of impossible burgers, a large fry, give me an icy. But then when it comes to 7 a.m., let me get a coffee. One of them, I don't even know if they got the impossible breakfast sandwiches, but they need to. I know that. But you get what I'm saying. Like, it just needs to be a little bit a little bit more diverse. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I'm saying, we need to find ways to be more creative, because you got people just spending money. And like I don't know if I said it before, but I probably did. Like, the wealth gap is getting larger, and we out here trying to be ballers, trying to take advice from 20-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? Who, let them do their thing. They got some time to bounce back. You know, they living their life. You know, if that's what they want to do, let them do it. But also, to be good to put some information out there so they don't feel like they got to live that way. Like, a lot of the only information on investing, you got to go on YouTube and look at like a podcast, or find somebody talking about financial literacy or financial freedom. That'd be dope to put it in music. Like, don't take it as I'm saying like it's some square shit. Like, that's a fucking challenge. Like, talk about some different shit. Put your people on. Like, that's some real G shit. Put your people on to some game. Like, you're a real true lyricist. You're a real true artist. If you could talk about anything, you should be able to make anything sound good. Missy Elliott, it's your man. What? I don't even know what that means, but it's provocative. It's the people going. I said that in another video, but hey, it is. She makes anything sound good. So ain't no way that y'all can't make some fly stuff that'll put your people on sound good. That's a representation more on you instead of the culture. People are right now accepting anything. Don't even think that people won't accept some game that you spitting over dope beats. And I used to wish, like, Common and people back in the day when I was listening, like, they just so dope. And I still love their beats, but I also felt if they had more commercial material, people would have taken more to them, and they would have been bigger artists than what they were. They were kind of still considered like conscious rappers. If you had gave them some dope beats, you know, some commercial beats, they already had dope beats, but some commercial beats, people would have accepted it. Because right now people are accepting any and everything, you know, just because people want to be entertained. So like, just do you, but also take it as a challenge to leave the world better than how you you know came into it. Add some value in your art form, in your anointment. Like, you can do that, and that'll be fly. But yeah, like I said, it's just a big financial gap. Failed marriages, like, it's not a lot of churching going on, not a lot of grandpas, grandmas, not a lot of sitting around the table talking about, like, even eating dinner together. It ain't no pro organizations out there teaching you about self-identity. It's like the future is scary. You know what I'm saying? Because we already got a lack of identity already, because I could only trace my ancestry.com back to so far. You know, at least I had some people talking some dope stuff into me, but right now it's not. I don't get that anywhere. And media, they are going after your mind right now. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to get into something, because then I know I'm gonna circle around too, but I think media has been targeting a lot of the young generation because they're vulnerable, you know, and they've only been around since the .com era, you know. And as you can see already, like, just like this, they can take things out of history book. You know, they can make the narrative something new as opposed to, you know, what it was or what it should have been. So it's like, now this is the most important genre, and they don't have a lot of substance. And the media, not only the media is teaching other people who don't give a shit, who just really want to make money and follow equations to get people to follow and click this link and listening to somebody else and regurgitating information. It's like they are coming after the younger generation because they have such fertile minds. And now this is the popular culture and they're the only people doing music. So now this is what the adults are listening to. Like, it's a fucked up domino effect going on right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about the wealth gap, the lack of marriages. This isn't just from what's happening now. This has been a domino effect from what's been happening in the past, 5, 10, 15 years. That's what we're feeling now. That's why I hate when people be like, oh, the president, whatever president, oh, it kind of sucks. Now this shit is fucked up now because this is president. Yeah, it's stuff that led up to this. Like, you can't just eat a burger and be completely obese today. Like, that takes years, weeks, months of just neglecting to get to where you at now. So it's the same thing with politics. It's the same thing with music. And now we got less substance than ever. All this music out here, all this free music. And all right, so I ain't getting paid. And I'm gonna come back, and that was gonna be my first podcast, but we'll do that another day. But you got all this, artists ain't getting paid. You got all this free music, all this oversaturation, people that don't care, and then we only listening to a younger generation. It's like, man, 5, 10 years from now, if we won't change, it's gonna be like global warming. How they said, even if you do change something now, it's gonna keep getting hotter and hotter and hotter to like 2050. It's like nothing we can do about it. And that's the same thing that we got going on now. So I think that people should just start caring a lot more about what they consume. And we got to give the younger generation something. Like, and it's a lot of the fault of older cats, like y'all stopping doing music. Y'all not giving the younger generation anything to hold on to. Like, y'all still trying to be hip. Like, the hippest you that you can be is be hip and be down and keep evolving. But we ain't doing that. It's like we just pump the brakes and we just stop evolving and growing, and the next thing you know, we old and dead. Anywho, that exaggeration to the fullest right there. Um, but I'm grateful. That's another bullet point. I'm grateful because, I came up in an era, like my pops was a pastor, so my mom played the church. We had a small church, so it wasn't too many people singing. It was really family. It was a good amount of people. But as time went on, less and less people, were in the church, but we still always sang. And I had the best singers. I had some gospel music. I had outside of church, I had Kurt Franklin, Stomp. I dug that from Kurt Franklin. I'm about to go down Master P and No Limit and DMX and Rough Riders. I grew up on that. I remember buying an NWA. This is way after, but NWA, Public Enemy. I had both their CDs. I had Common, Slum Village, Jay Dilla. I was listening to that. Dead Prez, listening to Biggie. I was listening to Pac. I was listening to Lauryn Hill, Missy Elliott. So I have Uncle Luke. I have that. I had jit music, all that music, but I also have substance, and that was all being played on the radio. But right now, you really don't have that. You just got one specific little ball of music being played, and it's stunting all of our growths. And I even think like that's a problem with the DJs. Like where the DJs at? We're putting us on to some new stuff. You know what I mean? It's like now we got to try and give our music to influencers who really don't give a fuck about music. You know what I'm saying? They just either wanting some money or to get higher and higher, more and more influence, not based on, the love of music at all. It's just so much empty shit going on. That makes me nervous. And all the music was all was older too back in the days. Like, I remember, and I know it ain't necessarily hip hop, but we cared about music as people got older. Like, I remember seeing, from Ella Fitzgerald to Louis Armstrong. I remember watching the movie Lackawanna Blues. Again, it's not hip hop, but you could look at it being sexual music or anything. People, damn, what was the color purple? Was people dancing crazy, like legs up on thighs? Older adults going out to clubs, and you don't really have that now, because you kind of only, when you go out, you only hear young music, and it be on a certain frequency that, I think mature people don't always be on. It'd be good to just have a little bit more variety. But I ain't gonna keep you guys too long. I mean, these are just some of the points I wanted to talk about. And circling back, because I think hip hop has evolved so much, and I think that was another thing. Part of the Drake convo is music has evolved so much. They like, well, music. I think there needs to be another genre than just hip hop, which may be because do you put Drake in the same hip hop category as you put Most Def, which I think Most Def went live last night, and I think that's what he was bring it back talking about, as far as you can have talent, but kind of what else besides the talent. You can rap, you can have melody, but what else is you giving the culture? Because hip hop, I think, was built on, I mean, it's poetry over beats, poetry over certain melodies, melodic poetry over beats that give people a sense of pride, not necessarily a sense of ego. And I think that's where it's all went. But do you put those two in the same category? Are they both just hip hop? I don't know. Or again, when I'm talking about, the whole point of this convo is, the age limit in hip hop. How old is too old? Like, should we have a different genre for mature hip hop? Is that necessary? And if so, would the same rules apply? Like, so how Tre Savage is like, oh, maybe 30 might be too old. So a lot of people thinking, or Dre, might be an age limit on hip hop. So instead of an age limit for this new genre, should it be an age requirement? Young cats, you can't even get into it because you ain't got enough experience. Would that even be fair? Can somebody file for affirmative action? Anyway, comment below. If you think it should be another genre of hip hop for mature adults. Let me know your thoughts. Hey, if you dig this podcast, even if you don't like this, and subscribe, because somebody will. And I want, this to get out further into the big world wide web of YouTube. Find people who are interested in cognitive matters, things that make you go, my name is Kim Joyce, Kim Joyce Music, kimjoycemusic.com. Singer, songwriter, producer, musician, thinker. Y'all know that meme of the man? Yeah. All right, y'all. I love you. Peace.